I've played every NBA 2K game since 2K3, so I've seen the series grow tremendously over the years. The My Career mode has been a blessing and a curse because it's helped catapult this series into one of the top selling sports games, but at the same time, it's a mode that the majority of the fan base will judge the entire game on. Last year, 2K18 got a horrible rep due to an excess of microtransactions on My Career mode. Career mode is the main reason 2K sells copies today. It's the focus of all the 2K trailers because the majority of their revenue comes from microtransactions. I play 2K for franchise mode when I'm alone and then exhibition mode when I'm with friends. I have no insight to give you on My Career mode other than you still need to pay extra money to be good, and if you want to grind for attributes, it takes a while. This review will be strictly about 5-on-5 gameplay. 2K19 reminds you that basketball is a team sport. A major adjustment within the gameplay is the on-ball defense. Despite mismatches, it's much easier to guard players. As an offensive player, it's important to keep in mind that even with a great slasher, you can't just push the control stick forward and expect a good outcome. Like in real basketball, you have to physically go around your man, not directly into him. If you simply take LeBron, hold turbo, and point the control stick towards the hoop, you'll either dribble the ball off of a guy, get an offensive foul, or even run out of bounds. Inexperienced players like to hold down turbo the entire game and basically just run around the court until you get around your man. 2K19 penalizes you for running around with the ball all willy-nilly. As a ball handler, turbo in 2K19 is similar to turbo in FIFA. Obviously you'll go faster, but you're also more vulnerable to turning the ball over, so it's very important to mix up your speeds. That's how guys like Steve Nash have made a living in this league. That annoying dribble blow-by animation that you used to get with guys like Giannis, LeBron, and Westbrook back in 2K18 happens far less against good defenders in 2K19. When you are able to get that blow-by animation, it takes a toll on your stamina, so you're not guaranteed to finish at the rim every time. You can still feel the weight of that defender as you're driving around him because he'll be running by your hip slowing you down, which can ultimately result in a contested shot. 2K19 is a much more physical game. You get bodied when you want to get into the paint, so you need to know your personnel. Players need to understand that they're better off penetrating with Ben Simmons instead of JJ Redick. You get punished if you don't know the attributes and tendencies of your players. Just because defense is easier doesn't mean that there haven't been more improvements on the offensive end. The contested shot logic has been completely revamped, meaning the days of shooting heavily contested jumpers when your defender is literally behind you or 5 feet away from you is no more. The shot contest logic is much more realistic and fair. If you're defending well and you're staying in front of your man, you still need to put your hands up to contest a shot. If you don't react in time as your man goes up for a jumper, it'll be a relatively open shot more times than not, pending the height disadvantage. In this sense, defending shots on the perimeter are more difficult this year. The layup meter has been reintroduced, allowing you to time your layups properly, similar to a jump shot. A well-timed layup can make a huge difference. So, the main differences on offense this year. Jump shooting and layups got easier, while driving to the rim got harder. 2K shines most by showing its true authenticity within every player. I could feel that DeMar DeRozan was more comfortable shooting mid-range jumpers off the dribble than Tony Allen due to their tendencies, attributes, and animations. Little touches like this make 2K miles ahead of its competition. When you isolate with a guy like Durant, you can feel how big of a threat he is, not only as a threat to get to the rim, but also as a guy who can pull up and nail it deep three. Curry can do his step backs in your face, and it's not unrealistic whatsoever. He really does this stuff. Even Harden does his classic step back that some people like to call a travel. I'll tell you this, if his step back is allowed in the actual NBA, then a video game can get away with it. Anyone who complains about the AI in any video game needs to remember how difficult it is to program artificial intelligence. Think about all the variables that factor in a 5-on-5 basketball simulation game. 2K does a better job than any other sports franchise at programming the AI to make intelligent basketball decisions. The AI also allows for some more realistic defensive rotations. For example, when I played with the Warriors starting lineup, I noticed that the Rockets left Draymond open on plenty of possessions. At first I thought they were just playing bad defense and Draymond happened to be the guy left open, but they consistently left the worst shooter on the floor open, and ultimately, that's the only chance you have at beating the Warriors. When I played with the Warriors on the defensive end, I didn't notice a ball handler like James Harden trying to get a screen and mismatch on a guy like Curry. We saw this every possession in the Western Conference Finals, so maybe that's something 2K can work on for 2K20. It's pretty nuts that 2K20 is the next game coming out. In transition, the AI has also received a modern tweak. I've noticed my wings running to the 3-point line more often instead of just running straight to the rim. Even if my wings don't get open, it allows more space for my ball handler to get to the rim. This makes it a lot easier to either get an easy layup or an open three. We're living in a modern NBA world where analytics rule. Daryl Morey only wants threes and layups, and 2K19 agrees. I don't want you to think that the AI is perfect. It's not all roses and rainbows over here. It's worth pointing out that there are times when players will play help defense in circumstances where they just don't need to. This will lead to open threes, but issues like this happen in real life too, so I can't say that this is completely unrealistic. This happens less if you have better defensive players, so you also have to keep that in mind. A guy like J.R. Smith is actually a pretty good on-ball defender, but as soon as his man passes the ball, he'll just fall asleep on defense and then his man will get an open three. Similar stuff like that happens in 2K. One thing I do to prevent this is to set my defensive settings to stay home. This tells your players to stay with their man more often, but the downside is you're more vulnerable to get beat one-on-one. The coaching AI is another thing that's been around for a couple of years, and I've really been a huge fan of it. You don't necessarily want Steph Curry to guard Russell Westbrook just because they're both point guards. Instead, Klay will automatically guard Westbrook, and then Curry will automatically guard Roberson, hiding him on defense. You can turn off this feature if you think you're smart enough to make your own optimizations, but it's still a great feature to have if you're lazy like me, or if you're playing with a friend and want a faster game and you don't want to just pause the game and make all these coaching optimizations on your own. If you want a true, realistic simulation style of basketball, I recommend playing on Superstar or Hall of Fame. Just make sure you have the timing down on your shot meter or else you'll brick plenty of open shots. If you're playing with a friend who has not played 2K in a while, play on either Pro or All-Star. It has a much more forgiving shot feedback and it won't deter them from the game so quickly. Quick rule of thumb, when playing with friends, the higher the difficulty, the easier the defense, and in result, the tougher the offense. Other than My Player, which I'm not a big fan of, I tried out My Team and there are plenty of fun modes that kept me engaged. My Team has some fun challenges, like playing a team that consists of LeBron James at every single position. Seeing a bunch of clones of LeBron James scared the crap out of me. I don't have enough time to go over My Team, so I might release a new review for that in the near future. I just wanted to show off this cute court I made. I don't even watch WWF anymore, so I don't really know what inspired me to make this court, but isn't it cute? 2K19 is pretty in-depth with all of its customization, even with basketball courts, so for me, I had to go all in. If you're a longtime fan, you can complain all you want about microtransactions, but they're not going anywhere. 2K makes so much money off virtual currency that they're not going to end it to make a My Career or My Team mode more fun for those of you who don't want to grind to get rewarded. The ends justify the means for them. The fact that I can still just see the love and care that goes in within the gameplay makes it a great purchase for me, so if you're into just a simulation style basketball game that will last you a while, this is the game that you want to get. 2K19 implements enough gameplay tweaks and it has so many different modes that makes this installment a must-own for all basketball fans. As always, thanks for watching, boys and girls. Let me know in the comments what you think of 2K19. I know that My Career mode is such a big deal to a lot of people, but I just want everyone to know that the gameplay itself in this game has done such a great job that I don't want that to be overlooked.